Internet, and welcome once again to the Free-to-Play Cast, brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, a.k.a. Magicman, and this is episode 361. We're doing it live like we always do, twitch.tv/MMOBomb. Make sure you're stopping by Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern for some type of free-to-play game stream, and on Fridays, 1 o'clock Eastern for the Free-to-Play Cast right here. So it is October 23rd. We are a week and a day away from my favorite holiday, Halloween. I can't wait. We'll have one more free-to-play cast prior to that. But one of our hosts might be a little bit in the Halloween spirit today already because they're not scheduled to be on next week's cast. So we'll get to them in just a second, but I've got to welcome him back. The man, the myth, the legend. Bless his heart. Troy Blackburn, how are you, sir?
First of all, that's cold. Second of all, you're welcome for my presence. And can we point out my fantastic background here?
It is tremendous.
Brought to you by Home Renovations. Just when you thought life couldn't be any bigger of a pain in the ass in 2020, Home Renovations.
What made you decide to renovate all of a sudden? Like, was this something you've wanted to do for a while?
Yeah, we started earlier this year doing some stuff, and then the summer we were just busy. And so we got started back last week. And so for the next month or two, everything gets moved here and there. Half of my house is on the other side of this board with a sheet over it.
Oh,
and
so
I'm
like
sitting
all the
in
furniture piled into one area type deal.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting in what used to be the dining room, will be an extension of the kitchen, but is currently whatever this is.
We almost didn't have you today, in fact, due to the renovation. I got hit up on Discord like 45 minutes before the show. Do you happen to have an emergency host?
Emergency backup host. And when we get to the next host, you might wish you had, because everybody's gonna die of a heart attack. But yeah, we've moved the computer. I can't even tell you how many times we've moved our computers over the past week. Just getting ready for different things to go in and out. And somewhere along the process, I did something to my webcam and it quit working. Luckily, I have a sibling that lives 2 driveways away, and he came and saved the day.
Yeah, thanks to Troy Blackburn's brother. The not noob fridge, the pro fridge.
The
pro fridge flying in with the 1080 cam. Well, your shot looks great. Your background looks terrible, but I can't wait to see when it's all done. Also on the line, joining us a little in the Halloween spirit, Mr. Wilfredo Rivera. How are you? What the hell? Hi.
What? Hi. You haven't heard of it? There's a global bastard about.
Yeah, you definitely will keep people 6 feet away from you if you walk around like this.
Keep your distance. I do not want your germs.
You got a little something on your face. It's like right here, like right. No, other side. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's it right there. So,
okay, cool.
What the hell are you doing?
So, seeing as though I won't be on next week's show, I figured bring a little Halloween early. I mean, everything that's going on, we got to have a little bit of fun. Got to have a little bit of that Halloween spirit. So, why not?
Is Larry the
He
cricket?
looks a whole lot like my Sith Juggernaut from SWTOR.
Also... And yes, Larry is in the room somewhere.
Larry's in the room. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you should. And if you don't, you missed earlier this week when I had to tweet at Wilfredo, and like, you're not gonna believe this. There's a fucking cricket in my room here in my office. It was late at night. I'd finished streaming over on Ready Check Radio and was just chilling, doing some Word document work and stuff. And I hear, like, are you kidding me? We located ours though, and we're able to relocate it outside. So ours lasted like 24 hours-ish, but you still have Larry. We have no idea what Larry is eating to keep themselves alive, but is clearly eating something in your house.
I think it's eating other crickets.
It's
Larry's on cannibal.
All right, let's start. Let's slide over and get started with the news, I think. That seems like a good idea. All right, so we brought Troy on because we've got some fun stuff to talk about, in particular to Troy's interest. We'll talk about that towards the end here. So let's start with some smaller news. We'll do a little like a mini rapid fire, just like four small things that you should know in the world of free-to-play gaming, starting with kind of a big deal crossover for fans. And thanks to Ninja Pandas for hitting us up at the beginning of the week when this stream was just concluding, so that we were able to grab the information and get it up as soon as possible. Phantasy Star Online is going to finally get its Sword Art Online crossover that we've wondered, is that going to happen in the North American version of the game or not? It is going to happen. Now, you do have to fight through some translations on this one if you want to watch the stream, and you can check it out on mmobomb.com. The YouTube/Google translates can be a little funny on this one. Some of them are hysterical. Some of them are absolutely hysterical. So it is worth watching. Now, it's going to be at the end of the year. And they do later say December specifically, but that's as close as we have as to the dates right now. We don't know exactly what all the Sword Art Online theme items will look like, but they did say that more information would be coming, so we've got that. We do know some of the characters that are going to be crossing over. I know neither of you is like a huge PSO2 fan, but are you Sword Art fans? Troy, are you into Sword Art?
No, I'm not. I understand this is a big crossover and this is a big deal for a lot of folks, but it's just not my thing.
Wilfredo?
See, I don't hate on everything I don't understand.
That's true. That was like very adult of you. You've grown. Wilfredo, are you a Sword Art guy?
Yes, I am actually. I actually have many of their novels. I've got a couple of the manga. I have the SAO 1 on DVD. Yes, DVD, not Blu-ray. I keep it old school.
I can't believe you just referred to DVD as old school.
These kids are used to streaming platforms now. They don't understand the process of keeping a disc clean.
To my right here is a bookshelf, just one of many at my house that have a ton of close-up magic and stage magic stuff from being a professional magician. There is an entire shelf there of VHS tapes if you want to talk about keeping it old school.
I've got those too.
And they're all about magic, card tricks, coin tricks, stuff like that. So keeping it old school with DVDs.
Even I don't own any VHSs anymore. What the crap?
I don't think I have really any more VHS movies, like actual just movies. But these are, they were $30, $40 when they came out each. And not many of them have been, transcribed over to DVD. I'll probably sit down at some point and do it. But anyway, Sword Art Online is coming. There was a lot of other info in that place, Phantasy Star Online 2 thing as well, about the level increase to 100 and some additional content and things like that as we kind of transition into New Genesis next year. But obviously the big one was Sword Art Online crossover. A lot of people very, very, very happy about this one. Interestingly, some of the things that you may be hunting for in this one, we're going to see them characters as NPCs and stuff like that. A lot of the things are going to be avoiding the scratch-off tickets. So you won't necessarily have to buy a bunch of AC scratch-offs to, loot box your way into some of the cooler Sword Art crossover stuff. So I think that's all good news for everybody. And Ninja's super excited about it. Ninja Pandas. So there you go. End of December, confirmed. Now we just need a date and a few more details about it. Troy, did you play Albion Online? I could swore that you tried that one.
I tried like
sandboxy.
I think there was like a trial. Yeah, there was like a trial or something for it
way back.
But at the same time, it was really not my thing. It was a lot of PvP and stuff like that I wanted to do a little more, getting to know the game and stuff going in. I think there's been changes to some of that since then, but at the time, like, I thought I wanted to play it. Then when I got into it, it wasn't as much my thing as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I know you're into the sandboxy stuff, and and Zach Sharps is into Albion Online. It's one he kind of dabbles in here and there. Wilfredo, Albion?
I looked into it. It didn't really catch my appeal. But I can understand why it caught so many other people's appeal. I can see why it's one of the better MMOs out there for people to play.
If
There's
you're
a
looking
lot-
for a very specific experience, we should say.
yeah, it's a very niche market.
Like
for
you're
this
not going to
particular-
Steam charts and see this one at 30,000 people or anything. It's good at what it does, but its audience is clearly niche to begin with.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is definitely for the Civ fans and things like that who really like micromanaging things like that. Not really my cup of tea, but cool. I'm glad you like it.
Well, there's a little bit of bad news. That's why I bring it up. There was a breach. Yay. This just keeps happening more and more often, I think.
So 2020 is happening again?
Right. So Sandbox Interactive discovered a breach in one of their system. They did gain access to forum user profiles, so that included email addresses associated with forum users. Now, Sandbox is saying that they did snag passwords, but they were still in an encrypted form, so they couldn't actually be used to log in or anything. But of course, Troy, the usual, you should probably go change your password warning comes with all of that as well, because they could potentially be figured out if you were, using lazy password. Is it password
Not
1, 2,
not
3,
probably.
4?
Go now. Change your password.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. Don't take that chance.
Is this a concern that does this register on your shit meter? Like every time you see one of these games, obviously Sony being breached is a whole other deal. That's like a whole huge mess. But when you see a game you play breached, does that concern you, Troy? Do you get, or is it just shit, I got to go change my password?
I'll be honest with you. It's just something that happens. It happens more often to every single company out there. It's happened to everybody at some point. So, just use unique passwords, change those passwords often, and use throwaway emails to register your games to. I keep throwaway emails and I'll register everything up to 1 for a little while. And then when I seem to have gotten several reports or get several emails that login attempts have been made from China or somewhere, I'll switch everything over to another throwaway email account. It's just the nature of the beast.
Noobfridge1, Noobfridge2 at Gmail, Noobfridge3 at Gmail, Noobfridge4 at Gmail. These, unlike me actually on an episode about a year ago giving Jason's email address away, these are not actually Troy Blackburn's email addresses.
Yeah, they don't, you would never guess they were mine. They're just some made up bullcrap.
Yeah, if we start getting if we start getting spam email from Troy about how much we should try Bless Unleashed on PC or PlayStation 4, we'll know your accounts have been compromised.
Yeah, just know I've been hacked.
Is it a concern for you anymore, Wilfredo, or is it more just the nature of the beast almost anymore, which is kind of a sorry state of commentary if it is?
It's kind of hit or miss for me. When I see it, I do panic a little bit. I'm like, oh, crap, how far did they go? But there's another thing where it's this is kind of going to happen. I mean, in the online state of anything, this is a possibility. No system is perfect. But you can take advice from Troy, unique passwords, use dummy accounts, things like that. However, it's always someone who's I'll figure it out one day.
Oh, yeah. I kind of take the approach of it really depends on, I'm with you, Wilfredo. It kind of depends on the game. Because 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 of them, as soon as I get, and I'm like, I didn't even give that company my credit card information or money. So you stealing that information aren't going to get any credit card information or money. It's oh no, Perfect World Entertainment was hacked. Oh well. Guess I'll change my password. I can't say that. I've actually given Perfect World Entertainment money.
Ooh.
For Neverwinter. I mean, it's been a long time, but I actually gave them money before.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten emails before about somebody's trying to log into some account, and I'm like, I didn't even know I had that account, and I know they don't have anything other than whatever throwaway email I was using at the time. So if you get in there, have it. It's yours.
I think the ideal target, right, shouldn't be these free-to-play games. It should be LifeLock. If you hack LifeLock, isn't that just irony of ironies? I mean, you get a ton of information there.
I mean, I think it's kind of funny that you mentioned LifeLock because of the whole, hey, we're going to put my social security out there.
Uh-huh.
And then he got hacked.
Yeah, he got hacked,
yep.
didn't he?
Yeah, it was terrible. But it's kind of funny because just this morning, I got a message from SWOTOR saying that there were attempts into my account. So I was like, oh, all right. I didn't put a credit card on there, and I got a whole bunch of time cards from Walmart for $5. I'm not really worried so much, but maybe I should change it.
Yeah,
So
but
I
that's different. That was just EA trying to force payments through on your account. They were they were trying to log in on your behalf and sub you up, baby.
July 2018, LifeLock bug exposed millions of customer
Yep.
email addresses.
Yep.
I thought that I'd read something somewhere a while back that they had been compromised before.
Yep. I mean, hell, even the credit bureaus have been compromised now at this point.
Yeah.
That's concerning. Although I think, like, as the common man, you kind of sit there and like watch, and you're like, just fucking delete it all. Just delete it all. Just delete.
Delete.
If you do online business with a company that's never been hacked, maybe you should reconsider whether that company is actually worth dealing with or not.
Or if that company is being honest with you. Because
Yeah,
remember,
true that.
Sony hid it for a long time, which was the
Oh,
bigger
yes.
problem in their hacking situation.
Yeah, that raised a lot of red flags, didn't it?
Yeah,
First, it was like,
just a
yeah,
little.
there's just an issue. We'll figure it out. And then it's like, yeah, we had a lot of people's information hit the web.
Yeah. By the way, really sorry. Here's a free game. Yeah, please. The game really isn't important right now. Could we talk about what actually happened a little bit first?
Yeah, right. Like,
Yay! I got.
how many people are me now?
Right.
That's what I want to know.
To kind of quote Schwarzenegger, who is your internet security and what do they do?
And what does he do? Well, we mentioned EA, so we might as well talk about them facing another lawsuit. And if you're surprised by this, I don't know what to tell you anymore, because they're getting lawsuits left and right, and they're one of the big dogs that is being smacked around for the whole loot boxes situation over the last year in European countries. A little bit here in the States, but not so much. Just a couple individual Congress members kind of poking that bear. But in Canada, we actually now have a potential, well, an actual class action civil claim against EA. There's only one or two plaintiffs in it right now, but it is opened up to be a class action claim. That's why I kind of call it a potential class action. There's not a lot of people involved in this one yet, but apparently the lawyers that are representing both Mark Sutherland of British Columbia and Sean Moore of Ontario are prominent class action attorneys. Like, this isn't, Troy's law firm in hotel room 7 filing a class action lawsuit against EA. This is apparently some well-respected firms in British Columbia, including a prominent class action solo practitioners on the team. So could have a little merit. Basically, the gist of the suit is this: loot boxes are gambling. Gambling without being regulated is a violation of different gambling laws in these sections of Canada. And therefore, they're seeking damages of, quote, everything EA made off of loot boxes since 2008. That's a lot of money. That is, so I would imagine EA will probably fight this one, Troy. They'll probably see you in court on this one, because it does create, though, I mean, as much as we may want to joke about going for that type of settlement, that is absurd. No judge would do it, and EA would fight it for days, and it's not commensurate with how much the individual plaintiffs may have taken damage. So it wouldn't work anyway, but hey, you aim big and hope to settle low, right? I guess that's the gist here. But I think it does, more importantly, create, or could, I should say, create a precedent, right? A legal precedent in Canada if a judge were potentially to rule against EA and call it unregulated gambling. That, I think, is more important than the monetary seeking on this particular suit.
Oh, by far, legal systems, for the most part, exist so much on precedent. Here in the States especially, but other places as well. And what you're looking for here is something against EA and some judge to say, in some form at least, yes, this is gambling. because that's going to open the door to go further. We're not going to win the war with this one
Right.
court battle here. That's just not how it works. But this is yet another step that, if it goes the correct way for the consumer, could be a huge stepping stone to get where we want to go. And with that being said, isn't it great that it feels like it was forever ago when like the internet was hot and heavy on EA and loot boxes in general and all that, to still be getting stories like this where it's going to court, it's being fought, it's still out there, the battle's still being fought. Hopefully we come out victorious, but you may be prestigious and all that coming into this civil lawsuit. Meet some of the highest paid lawyers probably in all of the world as the defendants once you get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, EA's got plenty of money to fund its own legal defense in this case. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Wilfredo, they also are seeking something a little interesting in the damages claim, in addition to, basically every dime EA's ever made for the last 12 years. All right, 85% of all the dimes they've made for the last 12 years. They're also seeking a public declaration by EA that it violated the law, which I think is an interesting ask.
You do realize we're trying to do that down here, right? It's not very easy to get anybody, let alone a company, to say, hey, we screwed up. That being said, that doesn't mean it can't happen. Honestly, I think it would probably be easier for EA to just say, you know what? Yeah, we violated the law and we need to fix ourselves. Because that would put a good spin on EA.
Oh, it definitely would, but it's not going to happen. Would
Oh,
never happen, because if they make that declaration, they lose across the world now in any lawsuit where they try to defend that it's not gambling, that loot boxes aren't gambling. Remember, they're surprise mechanics.
I was going to say, they're surprise mechanics.
They're surprise mechanics, according to EA, in actual testimony given to legislative bodies overseas. They are surprise mechanics. So they're never going to get that declaration, because then immediately they have zero defense anywhere on the globe to say it's not gambling, unless they highly structured this to say we violated this specific little term of Canada specific gambling laws, not that we were operating gambling, but that this aspect of the way we accepted payments, it would be so convoluted that it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, at that point I think a judge would just throw it out. However, if they got gamers to testify against it, I don't know, Need for Speed and how game progression was reliant on these loot boxes in order for you to literally beat the game, then yes, I would say for most courts across the globe, they would be able to have precedent. Because if you're literally telling somebody you have to keep paying money and money and money in the hopes to get something so you can beat this game, not only are you exploiting the gambling aspect because you're trying to spend as much money as you can to get this one thing, you're also exploiting the customer. Your games as a service is now just pure money exploitation. So now you really look bad.
We don't.
I know they're not going to go for that.
We don't have to worry about this anymore, though, right? With console games going to $70 with PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, that was the whole argument, right? That the companies needed to supplement the income because games have always been $60, right? So now it's going to $70, so this is fixed, right? No more loot boxes, no more cash ops monetization, none of that, and free-to-play is just free-to-play, Troy.
Professional magician and professional comedian you are, sir. Let me tell you what would fix this even faster than all this. You want to fix this, and you want to fix this tomorrow, and it's not going to happen, but this is how it would. Instantly stop buying loot boxes.
Yeah. All it would take is a day.
Yeah.
One day. I mean, if we could extend it worldwide and get a week or two out of it, then we really start crippling some of the smaller companies and taking chunk. But yeah, I mean, one day.
For wisdom like that and all your other legal needs, www.Troy's Law Firm in room number 7.
Hotel room number 7. All right, finishing up.
Actually,
go ahead, Wilfredo. Sorry.
I just want to say to Troy's point, today should be that day. I think today, October 23rd, should be the day where we start up the trend of hashtag no more loot boxes.
Well, I mean, MMO Bomb is the #1 YouTube channel in the world, so I think we can get that message out there. That's what the staff
Don't
keeps telling
spoil
me.
this. This is going to be good. This is going to be great. This is all New Fridge's idea, and if it doesn't work, we can pin it on him.
Yeah,
because that's what we do here.
Then why do people keep playing Bless?
We'll have that conversation afterwards.
So I guess you're not playing it now that it's launched on PS4 yesterday?
Oh, did I go buy a PS4 specifically to play Bless? No.
All right, last thing in the rapid fire mini. Spellbreak, the battle royale, the magic using battle royale, is getting its first major update with the chapters system, getting its prologue, so you have some like story stuff to do there, some changes, some things that they're considering. That launches today, or I'm sorry, it launched yesterday. And also a new mode, 9v9 Clash mode, which is kind of a death match. There's also a Hallowed Eve event and changes to matchmaking in general. All kinds of good stuff. So if you were looking for the chapter section, which was going to be like more questy, more PvE-ish content, but kind of repeatable. It's not like a huge open world or anything. But if you were looking for that, it is now starting. That was not there when everything launched. I think this is great news. I really like Spellbreak, Troy. I really enjoy it. And I don't like battle royales generally, but that is one that not only do I enjoy, I am above a 50-50 per win-loss ratio in that game. I'm not
Well, I was about to say, as a battle royale lover, I haven't tried that one yet, and I was hear you talk about how you like it. I was like, I might check it out. Then when you said, well, I'm above a 50-50 win percent, I was like, okay, never mind, it's full of scrubs.
Oh, God. Wow. I'm going to change the lights in the background to blue because I'm sad.
Did you like buy a legendary bow and like a...
No, it's an entirely different like play style. You're not playing with, swords or guns or everything. It is very like AoE and spell casting and stuff like that. And those are my mains in every MMO ever to begin with. So I think I have a little.
So what you're
bit
saying
of
is it's full of bots. Gotcha.
Bots. No, it's not full.
Dude,
of bots.
You own some bots, bro. Like,
I don't know. I'm like a 90% win rate.
You
Jesus,
can put down
man.
on some bots, homie.
Come on, even my KDR in Call of Duty is slightly above 1. I'm not absolutely abysmal at things. I'm just not great at some of them. Damn.
How many years ago was it at this point that I first gave you shit about bots on a first look? I don't even remember how long ago that was.
Right. What? I don't even remember what first look it was. You're right though. But that was
because the next one I did, I was like,
the next first look you did called me out on it. Didn't even take into consideration that it was the only way I could get a match in that particular game when I was doing the first look, because their matchmaking was broken and then didn't have enough players to do it. And I even said that in the first look, and you still gave me shit in the next first look. Wilfredo, have you played Spellbreak? What do you think?
I've played it. I will admit it's not Fortnite, and I'm happy about that. I think it's kind of cool that you really have to get your skills down and understand, if you're running two different elements, how they work in tandem with one another.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool game. I give credit where credit is due. I'm just not a real big fan of battle royales, but this is pretty dope. And knowing that they got this 9v9 thing going on, people are going to lose their mind for this game now.
Yeah.
Because it's becoming more robust.
Yeah, that's it's called Clash mode, but it's basically a 9v9 deathmatch mode. So definitely fun. You're gonna you play to a score to win, and it's predetermined at the beginning of the match. So they call it like their low stress mode, which I'm like, team deathmatch, low stress, Troy? That's not exactly where I put low stress on team deathmatch, but they say if you want to get in some action while you're relaxing, this is the way to do it.
Hey, this is going to have lots of bots and be easy. Mike Byrne.
You son of a... All right. Moving away from the rapid fire round, Hearthstone did reveal its expansion yesterday. We had had a little bit of information on it on last week's show. That new expansion fully revealed now. Madness at the Dark Moon Fair gets a whole new revamp as far as progression. If you haven't seen the cinematic trailer for this, by the way, they always, it's Blizzard. They generally do a good job with those trailers anyway. But I thought this one was particularly clever and well put together. Yes, I hear complaints from some people around, particularly, Jason's neck of the woods might not. Jason loves these. Maybe the living arrangements need to be changed, considering that some other people in the house might not like them, because they do take some comedic liberties with World of Warcraft lore and characters and things like that. But the biggie one for this that I wanted to talk about was kind of the progression changes they're making, because we talked a few weeks ago about what can Hearthstone do to bring you back. Jason's number one thing that he thought, this isn't going to happen, and not many people say it in like the Q&A forums, but Jason's was, I want some different type of progression, more rewards or more things to strive for besides just go on, play a couple matches against a couple people, and then roll on. Ironically, Troy, he got it. Now, it may not be exactly in the way Jason wants this yet, or Jason might want to see a little more out of it in the future, but it's moving in that direction. There is a whole progression and rewards revamp. They've added profiles. They've added achievements in all game modes, and they said that's going to be supported for new game modes going forward, whether that to be to accomplish silly things with a particular card in a battle, or to collect certain cards in your collection. They did say that the collection achievements might seem a little hard at first, because if you have to get 135 cards in each set, then Madness at the Dark Moon Fair only launches with 135 cards, so you would need all the legend cards. However, when the mini set comes out, a little further along and adds the cards to 35 cards to make it 170, that achievement is still set at 135, and you don't need any of the legends. So, it might be harder to get it on day one, but easier to get certain achievements, a month or so down the road. When the mini sets, they added like this season path, or this quest path. They kind of changed the way dailies work so that you don't really have to, move that gold into this like quest track so that you don't really miss out on it if you decide you're not going to do the dailies today. They altered the weeklies a little bit, or they added weeklies. You can do rerolls on those weeklies once per day still. So there were quite a few changes, all kinds of like upgradable, level upable, I guess, skins for the champs and everything. It's a pretty big workover for a lot of that progression stuff, Troy. But does it get you to come back to the game?
No.
Well, that was easy.
I can't. We've talked about this before. I can't stand CCGs. The fact, even when you were sitting there talking about it, I was listening, and I'm like, oh well, they got these achievements now in this progression, but you probably can't get it at first because you're not going to have all the cards.
Well, no. That example was just one particular achievement. That was, one. Other achievements, I mean, it's like Steam achievements or Xbox PlayStation trophies or Xbox achievements and stuff like that. Some of them are going to be real stupid easy because you did this in a game. Some of them, the more complex, is like, hey, if you want the achievement for collecting the set of a particular set, you need at least 135 cards. So don't use that because that was just a reference to one specific achievement that they called out saying, yeah, you might look at this one achievement and say, this is really difficult to do. I have to get every card. Therefore, maybe they're enticing me to put money into the game. But they were trying to say, it's going to be difficult at launch. Yes. But when the mini set comes out, that achievement doesn't go up. So I think they were trying to step on they're trying to make me buy cards so that I can hunt after this achievement, and they kind of quashed that one right away.
Yeah. Even though, and I'm not even saying this snarkily, even though at the end of the day they do want you to buy cards.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, look, I don't like Hearthstone. I don't like CCGs. I don't like Magic. I don't like none of that. But in-game progression system, if you want player engagement, if you want people to keep coming back to spend money, you need those additional progression. You can't just have people stop. They always want something to strive for. One of the reasons I'm absolutely loving Star Wars: The Old Republic right now is because of all the after max level progression systems. You got the legacy system, you've got the conquest system. There's lots of other stuff to do and work towards in that game. Just because I hit max level, I'm not done. I'm still gathering rewards and getting things, and that's what keeps me coming back.
Yeah.
And as I come
He
back,
keeps
I
coming
spend
back to
money
run
here and there
dungeons
because I
with
want
his
things.
AI bot companions, you little bitch. Gotcha.
Yeah, got my little pocket healer over here, and don't nothing mess with me, baby.
Wilfredo, does this change your opinion of Hearthstone at all? Is it something you want to check out? Is it something you play now? I guess we really haven't talked about it since you've joined the free to play cast ranks.
Yeah, no, this isn't going to draw me back at all. Primarily because this was kind of well overdue, and they even said it in their videos that they put out.
Yeah,
that they had been working on other things before, and now they're just getting to this, which I can understand from a development standpoint. Yeah, there's some things you really have to do to make the game work. But for me, this is a CCG. I'm not really interested in these minor little progression things. I mean, it's cool that you can kind of add tiers to your character cards, and you get these badass looking characters. Great. I don't really think that putting 30 top hats on a single card in a game is an achievement I want to go for. It's not something that really says, hey, this is a reason to play the game. It's more like, hey, we've created quality of life things to make you interested to potentially play our game. I think more cards, better options, sure. If you want to add progression systems like this, that's going to help, but this isn't really going to draw me back. Other people, though?
All this stuff we're talking about, by the way, is on top of the fact that this is a new expansion, right? You're getting all the new cards for Madness at the Dark Moon Fair. You're getting a new keyword, Corrupt, which is one of those keywords that would only ever work in a digital format because players are liars in real life, and it wouldn't work. Basically, the way it works is if you play a card that costs more than a Corrupt card that's in your hand, you get the listed bonus effect on that card when you do finally play it. So yeah, that really wouldn't work in real life. They'd be like, oh yeah, I totally played I had this in my hand when I played that 5 turns ago. So boom. No, you didn't. So
I've always said, if you like CCGs, the digital platform has always been the home that those really would shine on, because you can balance cards, you can do hidden mechanics like that, you can make the player be honest and create interesting mechanics with that sort of stuff. So the fact that these kind of games are digitally done, I mean, it's no wonder so many people play them.
I still prefer playing Final Fantasy TCG in person. Love it. Love it. Love it. New set. Pre-release
LCGs
weekend.
for the win. LCGs for the win.
Pre-release weekend next weekend. Opus 12 set comes out the following weekend. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Arkham Horror LCG, real card game.
I don't like living card games, actually.
Really?
It's very few and far between the ones that I'm like, okay, that's enjoyable. I don't know. I was into Magic way back when, and just mildly am into it now because my boys are, somewhat into it. But we're all about the final. Like, I competitively play Final Fantasy TCG at a high level. So, anyway, and Hearthstone duels are being added, so you got a whole new game mode in here too. It's kind of a PvP adaptation of the PvE dungeon runs. So, tons of stuff to check out. And I gotta say, I have not played Hearthstone in a long time. I will probably download it and check this out. I want to see, because that was my whole thing was, okay, yeah, I don't feel like playing against other people right now. And then, I have all the heroes unlocked, and, there's really not much. But with some new progression, some chances and new rewards, I could see maybe, dumping a half hour here and there in it, or getting into it and playing it on the go. I don't know.
Play some AI games.
Yeah, I mean, it'll get me to check it out. I don't know if I'll come back as a regular player, but I am interested in this particular expansion enough to check it out. So, shut up, Jason.
Jason Winter is so much more entertaining in chat than he is on the show.
Shots fired.
Jason said, cool, he can play Hearthstone with Mike. He needs some easy wins. Jason, I only play bots, apparently. Before we leave the news of Blizzard, though, and then wrap things up with our last news topic for the day, WildStar's lead composer is now headed to Blizzard. Now, we talked about Jeff Kurtenacker a few weeks ago in the context of him composing a very WildStar-ish song for a content creator that was suffering from cancer and lost that battle since we've talked about it. So condolences to friends and family there. But Jeff has accepted a job to join the Blizzard music crew as the senior composer there. Now, we don't know what IPs he'll be working on, or if they exist, or if they are potentially new. We just don't know that aspect of it yet. You can follow his Twitter, I'm sure. But if you were a fan of like that very off-the-wall different vibe that the music composition in WildStar had, that's got to be good news for you. Troy, I know you and I enjoyed WildStar for a little bit initially. And music was one of the very cool things about the game. It was very well done.
Yeah, when I read this, I was, thinking to myself, thinking back, there's all the negativity around WildStar and it shut down and stuff, but that was a AAA MMO, and there were a lot of good qualities in that game. Music was one of those. The art was another one that was really good.
They put too many eggs in the people want old school WoW basket, and that crippled them. And PvP
and that
was
drug
a mess.
It down hard. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, everything, all the developers and everything, they were AAA, man. They were big time. That was a big time game. That was big time production. That was a big time budget going into that game. So to see those folks move on and take higher positions in other larger companies now, congratulations.
Well, Fredo, WildStar's been dead for a while. You've just joined the cast like a month ago. Was WildStar in your daily gaming at the time?
Yeah, actually, I absolutely loved WildStar. I was so mad that it didn't pick up steam as it should have. And mind you, a lot of the people that worked for Blizzard created Carbine Studios to go do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this is going to be awesome. I love the character design. I love the world that it was in, because it was kind of a mix of like sci-fi meets, it was very much like Firefly, for anybody who knows that show, where it's space western. I thought it was really cool. Then to see it just go under, I was upset. I was like, man, this blows. But this is good news, because to me, I think Kurtenacker was kind of like the Danny Elfman of video game. He's got a very unique style when it comes to music. And I think this is just going to make things better if you think about it in the long run. Even if they took one song, put it in WoW, it's going to change the atmosphere. This is awesome.
You are very excited by this.
I am. And I don't like Blizzard. This, I will buy a soundtrack if he's got music on there.
All right. Well, they just got themselves a sale. So I guess we could finish up here with the last topic. Atlas Reactor might be coming back. We mentioned that. I think we could just move on.
Happy.
So we kind of mentioned this a few shows ago. I think actually just last week, where there was the possibility of Atlas Reactor coming back in some fashion, because all of a sudden, official freelancer, the characters' accounts, Twitter accounts started like chirping and saying things, and well, now that's official in a very weird way. And I know, Troy, you and I mentioned this on that show because Jason was like, I don't know who's happy about this, and I said, Troy is definitely happy. We're gonna have to talk to him about this, because you loved Atlas Reactor. But now we have some more information, and I want to see, are you still interested in this? Because it's not just coming back as Atlas Reactor. It's coming back as Atlas Rogues, and it's a bit different. They're describing it as a roguelite, turn-based PvE tactics game for a crew of 4 freelancers. So you could do things solo or co-op into a group, which is quite a far cry from the more PvP-centric game that Atlas Reactor actually was. Mm-hmm. Does this Does this still interest you? I mean, I know you have a love for the characters and stuff, and you're probably going to check it out. But hearing that, does that kind of make you go, that's not the game that I liked? This is a different thing in the same universe.
The reason I checked it out in the first place, obviously, was because it was essentially a MOBA, a turn-based MOBA, for those of you who don't know, which I know sounds janky and slow, but it actually worked out really well. It was very unique, very well done as far as at least the mechanics of how the turn-based worked. At the end of the day, when I stopped and looked at this, it's like, would I do it without the MOBA? The answer is yes, because as you said, yes, I have a love of the characters. There were a lot of characters that I really enjoyed. They did a great job of telling the story of those characters and the world throughout the seasons. As you progress, you'd get more of the story of where the world was going. But at the same time, it was the turn-based mechanics that I really liked, and the abilities and the way they used those in a turn-based way, but kept it flowing and smooth and kept it tense. There were still time limits, and it was still just as intense as a regular MOBA. It was just in a different way. You had to really, you were thinking about what you needed to do, and you had to already have that plan before your turn came back up. So it was tense in a different sort of way. Will I check it out as a PvE game? Yes, if the mechanics are still there, the characters are still there, the world building is still there. Me and some of my buddies who used to play the game together would absolutely love to jump back in and just co-op it like we would something like Trine or anything like that.
Did you play Atlas Reactor, Wilfredo?
Yeah, actually, me and Min this moment played it a little bit, and what I really like, I'm a big fan of the XCOM series, and that's what I got from this. Just it's XCOM but goofy. This has me a little worried, only because it's now roguelite. I understand that according to them, you know, if your party gets wiped, you come back, but things have changed. That's cool. But dude, what about all the other roguelite games like Rogue Legacy and Salt and Sanctuary and Blasphemous and all those other games? Oh wait, they're not turn-based. Okay, so you get a little bit more time to think about how you're going to die. This is going to be interesting, to say the least, at the absolute least, and I think I'm going to give it a shot when it comes out.
Now, they did said this was all announced, which is something we're going to get into here because I have questions. This is all announced via Reddit, and there is actually a mega thread right now on Reddit for you to add questions for a dev blog that's supposed to be posted later this week as of 2 days ago when it went up. I mean, today's Friday. I just refreshed it before the cast here. There still wasn't anything there. I'm sure Jason is keeping an eye on this to see if something pops up
later
today.
This week's almost gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they've got a few hours left to be later this week and still make the news cycle on the East Coast in most cases. But I've been watching it. I'm sure Jason's watching it, and they tell this story here, and this is from the creative director Will Cook. They kind of like, where did it come from? Why all of a sudden now? Because remember, Atlas Reactor, as much as you might have loved it, Troy, it was a fucking mess. I mean, it launched free-to-play, then went buy-to-play, then put in a really crappy free-to-play trial, then went fully free-to-play, then got bought as part of the Gamigo taking over Tryon Worlds asset buy, and then got canceled and closed. And here we are, what, a year later-ish? All of a sudden, it's back in a new form. And when you read the Reddit post from creative director Will Cook, it all sounds very cool, right? Like, at the time, they were working on this kind of side prototype that they called Alliance, but it wasn't good for the time. Then the whole, went away, and Gamigo bought the Tryon Worlds assets and all that jazz, and nobody remembered anything about it. But somebody was asking at meetings for new ideas, and somebody happened to bring up this prototype from years ago, and Gamigo said, hey, who left here can work on this, or do we need to go get people? And was like all supportive about bringing people with passion for the project in, and great. So they're awesome. Gamigo seems fully on board with bringing passion people to this project. That's why all the information is posted on Reddit. On Reddit?
Well, it's an idea. They to me, here's what it comes across as: they're throwing it against the wall and seeing what sticks. They have an IP that they own. They have probably at least some coding that they can use already. They have developers who came from that company who most likely they've at least got a couple of folks. Obviously, that's somebody who pitched the idea, so they've got at least somebody who has worked on it in the past. So they've got all this stuff. So let's just see what we can make of it. Is more? I mean, yes, I understand MMO Bomb. We're a website. We want to be the progenitor of the news. We want to take it in and put it out to the world and really get the word out about what's going on in the video game world. What I would like to see this as is a grassroots effort by a company to say, hey, we've got this. We know it has some fans. Prion didn't really handle the management of the game well at all at any point, realistically, because all confidence was gone probably the second time they switched pay models. But, hey, here's this thing we have. Let's stick it out there. Let's see what the response would be. And let's go forward with it, maybe from there, to see how much effort we want to put into this.
See, I totally take the opposite here, and I don't know where you sit on this, Alfredo. I kind of look at it, if this was some small indie company, then I could say, yeah, okay, they're kind of poking the bear, saying, we'd like to do this, we're moving in this project, but how receptive are you going to be? This is Gamigo. They have the resources that if they greenlight a project, spin up a website that day, start posting your news that day. These posts are not the testing the water posts that I think it would be more in line with your type of explanation there on, hey, we're kind of talking about maybe pitching to Gamigo, moving forward with this, and what do you guys as Atlas Reactor fans think about it and stuff. Like, these were full-blown announcements. It's got a name, it's got a direction that it's headed in, and maybe old school Atlas Reactor fans aren't all that keen on that. Read the Reddit posts, some of them aren't on that new direction. That's fine, but it just seems like, to your point, almost the opposite in my mind. The fact that Gamigo hasn't just spun up a site and started putting together press releases for it kind of leans the other way in my mind. Like, maybe the support that they're saying is there isn't exactly quite there. Wilfredo, whose side of this fence do you fall on, or are you kind of just treading the line in the middle right now?
So, two things. The first thing is, I was waiting for someone to call me Alfredo. Everyone.
Oh my God, did I call you Alfredo?
Yes, you did.
Wilfredo, I am so sorry.
It always happens at least once. And I always say, well, I look like Linguini. What's wrong with you? But no. So, and there it is. When it comes to this being on Reddit, I think this is more. I'm very skeptical.
I'm gonna blame it on the number of times I had to say Atlas, and it kept putting A starting words in my mouth. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm an Italian demon. No, no, I think I'm very skeptical when it comes to things like this. So I see this as the developers of Atlas saying, there's a lot that we want to say, but this will allow us to have plausible deniability because we're doing it on Reddit instead of on an actual website. So this is going to be able to allow them to kind of speak their mind a little bit more freely without ramifications from Gamigo saying, hey, you're not supposed to do that. Versus, I mean, it was on Reddit, so was it really us? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's a paranoid mind thing. Maybe my horns are getting to me. I don't know. But I really think that this is, they want to say something, but they just don't know how to say it in a PR speech.
We don't know, by the way, if it's going to be free to play. And if I had to guess, leaning more towards the PvE side of things, a more co-op experience, single player or, co-op experience, I'd probably guess, Troy, that it's not going to be free to play, that they'll probably put a $15, a $20 price tag on this and roll it out as a co-op experience. What do you think?
Yeah, like the company makes me think free to play, but just the game type really screams, like you said, small buy-in to get in. But fear not, there will definitely be microtransactions. Just sort of reading the way they put out there, you're going to earn in-game currency to unlock other characters and progression and stuff like that. If you don't think that they're going to put some of that in the cash shop for you to just be able to buy, then you haven't been paying attention.
Yep. Wilfredo, free to play or buy to play? If you got to guess right now.
Probably buy to play.
Predictions sure to go
$10, $50
wrong. All
off.
three of us say buy to play. All right. Troy, I know you're happy. Congratulations, sir. You get to end the news segment on a happy game for once. Normally, I shove Bless Online or Bless Unleashed down your throat before we go to the weekly
like
bombs.
we're going into like the bombs all the time, and I'm like trying to get my blood pressure down.
All right, let's slide over to the weekly bombs. Come on, bump. Do it. Do it. There we go. There's a little delay. I have no idea why. I'm going to give a dub bomb to the first Rocket League event after free-to-play conversion being the damn Ghostbusters event. That was fantastic timing, crazy good timing for the goal celebration that I wanted from previous DLC. Now, we are a little less than 2 hours away from finding out how much that goal celebration will be. That'll happen on our stream. We'll be playing some Rocket League after the cast today. So we will find out in a little less than 2 hours how much Psyonix/Epic is going to try to rook us for the Stay Puft goal celebration that was part of a $2 DLC package back in the day. They already took the Ecto one and put that out for $5. I did buy it. And the goal celebration. So that's more than 2 already, but we'll see. Actually, I only paid like 2 or 3 for it because I had some credits from the season pass. But I think I got to give him a dub bomb. I had no idea when I was going to see those cycle through the cash shop, and the very first event after the Fortnite crossover is the Ghostbusters one. So, dub bomb. Troy.
Dub bomb to whatever Rocket League team absolutely smashed Mike Byrne the other night in the 3v3 tournament. Congratulations to you, and thank you. Thank you very much.
You gonna take that? You just gonna sit there and take that?
I hate this show. Free to play cast canceled. Yeah, they did demolish us yesterday. On that, Troy, I did make the quarterfinals last night. I actually made the semifinals, and then one of my 3 teammates messaged us and said, "I'm really sorry, but I gotta go," and left. Like, we are in the semifinals. Are you kidding me?
What did you say the goal was to the quarterfinals for the?
Yeah, you have to make the quarterfinals 4 times for the stage 2 season challenges, and that is the only stage 2 season challenge I have left. And right now I'm 1 of 4. So, but I have plenty of time too. I'm way ahead on that one. But yeah, we did get demolished on stream in that tournament the other day. It was like 6-0.
But y'all had such an epic comeback the game before that, though,
right?
Because dude, they scored like in like the first. What was it? We were 17 seconds into the game. It was like 3-0.
Yeah,
and I was like, boys, that was a fantastic 17 seconds. And then they come back and they won it in overtime.
Yeah,
dude,
we
it's
fought
crazy.
our way back. Lou and Perry and I. Wilfredo.
Giving a dub bomb for Mike getting my name wrong, because it happens at least once. But I'm giving a serious dub bomb to the Canadian courts for taking the fight to EA. We need more of that.
All right. From the viewers, Jason giving a dub bomb to the one guy in our chat who smashed Mike and his partner in a 1v2. Oh yeah. When I was streaming on Ready Check Radio, and or no, that was an MMO bomb stream, I think it was. Yeah, it was an MMO bomb stream. And Perry was playing with me, and we were doing ranked 2s. And by the way, Rocket League, no matter if I'm streaming it on MMO Bomb or Ready Check Radio, that game singularly is the game that I get the most random people showing up in my chats and immediately saying, "Hey, what's up? Can I jump in?" Like, it happens at least once a stream, no matter where I am with Rocket League. I don't know. So this dude jumps in. It was late, and we were like, "No, it's we're not going to do some 3s today. We're doing 2s." And I said, "Besides, you're probably like way above us in ranks. We're silvers. We just started playing when it went free to play a month ago." And he's like, "Yeah, I forget what he was. He was like high plat, something like that, or whatever." And and he was like, "How about a 2v1?" And we're like, "Okay, you know what? You're gonna demolish us, but that's fine." So we party up. It was, what was it, Jason? It was like 8-1. He beat us 8-1.
You guys got
He just popped off on us. It was fun though. Yeah, so it was like 7-1, 8-1. So yeah, dub bomb there. Guardian Vale
Holman's
say
got a
dub
good
bomb
idea.
story mode of Star Wars Squadrons A bomb to 2020. I'm done with it. Ninja Panda saying giving an A bomb to the useless players on the urgent quest I did twice and failed twice. Yeah, on Wednesday's stream, I queued up for the urgent quest on extreme or on super hard. No, we just did it on super hard. And I cleared it immediately. Ninja went with 2 different groups, couldn't clear it. He's screaming in MMO Bomb's chat. From viewers on YouTube or on MMOBomb.com and MMOBomb.com, Piney Musta says, Hearthstone has no tie-in? Just a small indie MMORPG called World of Warcraft. That's in response to last week, you wanting like an anime tie-in for Hearthstone. Go ahead, Troy.
RUL, not sure if I was surprised that Amazon just completely dropped Crucible. I guess it was not worth continued investment, even if there was so much sunk cost in the production already.
Go ahead, Wilfredo.
Vance Excel, I agree with you about cloud gaming. I recently tried PS Now because I saw a game on the platform that I had an itch to play, and while it was good for about an hour, I had a severe drop in bandwidth, which stopped the game altogether. Unfortunately, my cable company is an unofficial monopoly in my area, and they randomly drop our speeds. As long as things like this continue to happen, and I don't think companies have any incentive to change, I think people will continue to just buy consoles.
Yep. Jay said giving a dub bomb to Friday, just because. Kiro Sugemura says, yeah, people spending upwards of 7,000 for a single character, talking about Genshin Impact, is a bit nuts, just a little. Granted, these YouTubers' influences can use it as a tax write-off because it's a business transaction for them. That said, the reason it gained traction was because, oh, it looks like Zelda. The reason it gained tons of money is because it's a gacha game. These games always make their money back, and this one was released for PC and console instead of just standard mobile, meaning there's a fresh audience to this malicious form of game design. It's no joke when I say people will spend all their money to the point of bankruptcy on games like this, so I'm not surprised it made $100+ million in 2 weeks. The amount will quickly drop, though, as more players leave. This is also common amongst gacha games as players start hitting the grind wall or the end game. For this game, that hits at rank 30-ish. No more quests, resin limits player advancement. That's being adjusted. We posted an article late last night on some of the additional adjustments that MiHoYo's making in update 1.1 that comes out on November 11th. They've lowered the weekly resin need, and they've increased the amount of resin you can store. Not saying that will totally fix the problem, but just pointing out that has been at least somewhat addressed. The main source of XP will be farming chests around the map. It quickly becomes monotonous and causes burnout, as it's a drastically different experience compared to the start where the game feels generous. That said, the game, like many gachas, will fall into a niche after a couple years, assuming they don't jump into the pay-to-win meta PvP sooner rather than later, as is common in gacha games. I don't think we have to worry about that. I don't think they're going to hit the PvP side of things. Go ahead, Troy.
Mr. Red Guy 321 in reply to the previous comment above, which we don't have reference to right now, I guess.
No, it's the one I just read.
Oh, it's okay. You literally typed that in. Okay,
yeah,
reference to what Mike just said. The game is still new, and for a free-to-play game, it already comes with a shit ton of content. They address the resin system and will be implementing changes in the near future. Test out the game first. They deserve every penny. No one is obligated to spend money on the game. That's all player choice. As someone who's been playing the game for some fair time now, AR rank 24, I can fairly say the game is completely fair when it comes to progression and keeping up with the leveling. Great game. Can't wait for more update.
Wilfredo.
Raggerty says, Hearthstone cartoon, so a WoW cartoon. There was a movie, and WoW's got a ton of lore, so some of which is good, others
Yeah, there were quite a few commenting about what do you mean Hearthstone doesn't have a tie-in, an anime tie-in? They got WoW, for crying out loud.
Look, just go to
Warcraft 1,
go to
Warcraft
Carbot
2,
on YouTube if you want to see tie-ins to Blizzard stuff. It's great.
Misfit Rain finishing off says, DeBomb for Rift possibly getting some content. I still like jumping in that game and messing around. The macro system is the best in my opinion. One button own all macro that cycles through your entire rotation. All they need is auto-pathing quest turn-ins. Put it on mobile. Smirk. Still a big fan of Battle Pass for cosmetics also. I'm that guy. Misfit Rain trying to turn Rift into V4. I kind of lost my mind halfway through the V4 first look. The back half of that, I might have just been like, you know what, I'm just going to say shit and see what happens at this point. It's not long. It's only like 12 or 13 minutes or so, but 7 minutes in, if you haven't watched it, it was fun to do. I've done first looks like that previously where I just have fun with the game. Like, even if a game's bad, I can have fun with the first look, and that one I had fun with. Question of the week last week. Should Amazon now consider making New World free-to-play? Free-to-play instead of buy-to-play. Given that they're asking for box fees for a company that is now 0-2 in very big public ways out of the gate with game launches. Sujit says, question of the week, I don't know if a late development switch to free-to-play would help more than it would hurt. With all the stuff they have to change to go free-to-play, it might be best to charge a box price, then switch to free-to-play in a few months when no one is playing, like a real MMO would do, to maximize profits. We call that here the Bless Online model. That's the Bless Online model. Wilfredo, go ahead and finish it up, my friend.
Sure. Misfit Rain says, question of the week, no to free-to-play. I want to play this game outside of beta. I was going to get into May, stripped, then I think July or August, or both, stripped. Now, spring 2021. If they change the structure to fit a free-to-play, I'll be playing the new Lotro MMO first. Yeah, if they can make that happen.
Well, luckily, they're not the primary developer on that one, so Athlon Games is working with Amazon, so we'll see. We'll see. Troy, should they make it free-to-play?
Yes.
You think they should, like, right out of the gate?
Yeah, I think they should. I don't think they're going to, but I think they should.
They will either. Question of the week. This week, it's that time of year again. Every MMO and game out there is having its holiday events, starting with Halloween, and then we'll see some Thanksgiving stuff, and then, of course, all the Christmas stuff into New Year's. So I ask this once a year because I want to know, what is your favorite in-game holiday event ever and why? It doesn't have to be in an MMO per se, but it doesn't even have to be in a free-to-play game. I want to know about your favorite holiday event and why. Make sure you put that in the comments below. While you're there, give us your weekly bombs. Da bomb for something good, A bomb for something bad in the world of gaming. And if you have a question for the panel, put that down there too. We'll bring it to next week's show. Wilfredo, since we won't see you next week, happy Halloween. Love the mask. Where can everybody follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at DamianXMarius.
Troy.
On Twitter at Noobfridge. Big things are ahead, and I don't mean the tent background.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally on Twitter right there at magicman1, but more importantly, follow at MMOBomb so we can tweet at you all the latest news, articles, giveaways, videos, free-to-play casts, and so much more. Until next week, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.